All right, let's dive right in. Today, we're talking about Venus Radar V3. Now, you can think of it as an intelligent guardian or maybe even an insurance policy, specifically designed for automated crypto trading bots. So if you're someone who runs a neutral grid bot, you're definitely going to want to pay attention.
You know, this sentence right here, it perfectly sums up the life of a grid bot trader. It's this constant tightrope walk, right? You live for that sideways, choppy market action, but a strong, one-way trend, that's what keeps you up at night. And that's the exact problem we're going to unpack today.
So yeah, this dilemma, it's the fundamental reason why Venus Radar V3 was completely re-engineered from the ground up. Let's really get into what that means.
Okay, so let's get visual with this. On one side, you've got what we'll call good noise. This is that beautiful, choppy sideways market. It's where your grid bot is just doing its thing, buying low, selling high, over and over. It's literally a money printer. But on the other side, you've got the bad breakout, a powerful, sustained move in one direction. And folks, this is the stuff of nightmares. This is where your bot just gets steamrolled and faces total liquidation. And that brings us to the whole new philosophy behind V3. It wasn't just about making a better monitor. It was about creating a one-way detector that can finally tell the difference between that good, profitable noise and a really dangerous breakout.
So the mission totally changed. The point here isn't just to send you another notification for you to swipe away. The mission is to act as an intelligent kill switch, a system that's smart enough to step in and protect your capital before the real damage is done. Now, how they actually pulled this off is pretty cool. The challenge was a classic one. If you use 1-hour data, yeah, it's stable, it's reliable, but it is way too slow. By the time it confirms a trend, you're already in deep, deep trouble. But if you use 15-minute data, sure, it's fast, but it's so noisy you get false alarms all day long. So V3's solution, something called high-res stability. It takes that fast 15-minute data, but then mathematically smooths it out to give it the same reliable feel of a 1-hour trend. You get the best of both worlds. And that clever solution, that stability, leads us right to the heart of the entire system, the exponential kill switch. This is what really turns V3 into a guardian. Think about this from an engineering perspective for a second. It's a fascinating problem, right? How do you program an algorithm to be tolerant? You want it to just chill out and ignore all the normal, profitable little dips and pops of a choppy market, but then react with just overwhelming force the second a truly dangerous trend kicks off.
Well, the answer isn't some messy block of code with a million if-then rules. It's elegant mathematics. This single line of code you see here is the entire brain behind that kill switch. It calculates a penalty score based on how far the price moves away from its average. But the real secret sauce is that little word, POW. It stands for power. It's an exponent. So let's look at what that math actually does in practice. If the price moves about 10%, we'll call that good noise, the penalty score is around 38 points. No big deal. The bot keeps running, it breathes. But if that deviation doubles to 20%, the penalty doesn't just double. Thanks to that exponent, it nearly triples to over 100 points. The system sees that and immediately knows this is a critical event. The bot is paused, instantly.
And what this all creates is something called a tolerance threshold. You can think of it like an intelligent buffer. It gives the bot the freedom it needs to operate and make money inside that safe zone of normal volatility. But the second the price steps over that line, that penalty skyrockets and the defenses go right up.
I absolutely love this quote from the source material because it's just so visceral. It snaps the leash. That's exactly what this exponential kill switch does. When the market makes a dangerous move, it doesn't just gently pull back. Nope, it snaps the leash. The bot is stopped dead in its tracks, protected from chasing a bad trend all the way to its own destruction.
But V3 isn't just about reacting. It also tries to predict. This next feature is all about creating what they call an exit map, a way to calculate where a totally chaotic market move might finally run out of gas.
Okay, so let's talk about a magic number, 4.5. On its own, doesn't mean a whole lot, but in the middle of a wild parabolic market pump, this number is the key to creating a map out of all that madness.
Now, this number wasn't just pulled out of thin air. It came from a historical data study that looked at a ton of meme coin pumps back in 2024 and 2025. And the researchers found this recurring pattern. These super volatile, low-cap coins would often overshoot their average true range, that's just a measure of their daily volatility, by a factor of about 4.5 before all the buyers just got exhausted.
So how does the system actually use this? Well, it's a really simple but powerful process. First, it calculates the coin's current daily volatility, its ATR. Then, boom, it applies that 4.5x multiplier. And what that does is project a predicted ceiling, a data-driven guess of where the pump is likely to fizzle out. For a trader, this is gold. It becomes a safe upper limit for setting your grid, an exit map.
All right, finally, let's talk about user experience. Because a system this powerful is pretty useless if it just spams you with meaningless alerts all day. V3 was designed from the start to protect your capital without completely destroying your sanity.
A huge part of this was reweighting the risk score, what they call the PPS. Basically, they changed what the system pays attention to. They dramatically lowered the importance of really noisy stuff like social media mentions and liquidity metrics. Instead, they cranked up the weight of what actually matters for a gridbot's survival: the rebound probability, which is powered by that exponential penalty we talked about, and the technical analysis score, which measures trend strength. It's all about boosting the signal and cutting out the noise.
And all of that feeds into this really slick, smart muting system. Think of it like a simple decision tree. First, if the overall risk score is below a critical level of 85, it's muted. Period. No spam for you. If the risk is high, it then checks its own history. It will only send you an alert if the threat is brand new, if it's escalating, like from medium to high risk, or if the score suddenly jumps. It's designed to respect your attention.
So, to wrap it all up, Venus Radar V3 really does act like this multi-layered insurance policy for your bot. You get the high-res stability for fast, reliable data. You've got the exponential kill switch that knows good volatility from bad. You get a data-driven exit map to navigate those insane market moves. And it does it all with a smart muting system that only tells you what you absolutely need to know when you need to know it.
And that really brings us to our final thought. It's a powerful idea, isn't it? An intelligent insurance policy for automation. So the question I want to leave you with is this. If you had a system like this, one that automatically tells the difference between a golden opportunity and a complete catastrophe, how would that change the way you think about and manage your own risk?